On air. C'est bon.
Hello, everybody. Yes, we're gonna speak English by now. Look, I'm not alone. I'm not gonna waste your time because I came with two friends, two people who works with me. They are not really friends, okay? But I have my soulmates, the one that I can live. My life would be so shitty without him. Let's introduce. I don't know how to say his name. Guillaume. Let's go, Guillaume.
Hello, I'm very happy to see you. My name is Guillaume. It's the most unpronounceable name in any other language than French. So just say as you can, it's Guillaume. I'm very happy to be with you, Mike, tonight.
Yes, but we are not alone, Guillaume.
No, we have
No,
somebody else.
we have somebody, the one, the big producer. He made Avatar, World Series 2012, a little porn, okay, because he have to live, okay, he has to hit. So a little porn, it's okay. No, nobody cares about that. But he's known in France as the Mouflette. The Mouflette, the Mouflon, as we call him. Let's welcome Thomas. How are you, Thomas?
Yeah. How are you? I'm fine.
You understand, okay? The
Yeah.
mouflette is because
Always the mitten.
the meat in France is
I
called
produce with the mitten.
Yeah.
and we say he don't have all these fingers because he only do shitty things, okay? So that's why we call him the mouflette. But why are we here, Guillaume? Why are we here?
We are here because we would like you don't know us, we don't know you yet, but we are making this because we have a podcast in France where we talk about baseball, but we speak about baseball only in French, and sometimes we say, wow, baseball is an American sport, so we need to speak in English. So that's why that we launched this channel, because we are fed up, tired with having French invitees.
Be
So
ready, John
so
Boy,
yeah.
ESPN,
So now
Fox.
so now we can invite some people from other country. So that's why tonight we have the real pleasure to have with us an Austrian guy called Wolfgang. Sorry. He's no musician, of course. Anyway, I don't know for sure, but that's not really what matters
You
now.
don't know. You don't know.
No,
Maybe.
no, no, I don't know. He's not a famous painter like Wolfgang Palen, nor a beautiful lake like Wolfgang See. No, our guest is a baseball coach, and
I have a
he's
question.
lucky.
Is
Yes,
is he a villain from the James Bond in the 70s? Because Wolfgang is kind of this name,
he
no?
could
No?
be. He could be. He could be. No, our guest is a baseball coach, and he's lucky enough to be in a very famous team. And if, like me, you've seen some baseball movie from the 80s, you sure have watched
Here
this
we go
team.
again.
Yes, the Cleveland Indians. He's the coach of the Indians. But next year, he will still be coach of the Indians and not coach of the Guardians. Why? Because he doesn't live in Cleveland. So enough of all this suspense. Our guest tonight is Wolfgang Schor, coach of the Dornbirn Indians. Willkommen, Wolfgang. Wie geht's?
Willkommen. I'm very good. Good to see you guys again. Guess
Yeah, it's
we had a good time in Senare at the Chep Cup
Yeah.
long
Welcome,
time
Wolfgang.
ago.
First of all, we have to thank you because we were looking for a guest who could speak good English, not too fancy because we are French. We don't speak good English. Okay, you're gonna hear it. We are bad people and bad English speakers.
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
I'm sure
so
you speak perfect English. You just have to hide it, because
No, no,
because
no,
of
no,
the
no, no,
stereotype that you guys
no,
don't
no.
speak any other language.
Look,
no.
I've got the beret and the
Yeah,
baguette
yeah.
in
Oh,
my
look,
back.
look, you see? Okay. So, so you said yes, and we are very, very happy for that. And then we want someone who could talk about baseball because we were talking about Wolfgang in the pre-show, and you said us, "Do you have time?" Because I speak a lot, not as lot as us. You're gonna say it too. So really, 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 thank you to be here today. But what are we? Why are we here? We'll tell that, but when we'll be here, we will be here, Guillaume.
We will be every month. Normally, we don't have a specific date. It will be every
The
month, but
schedule is pretty.
yeah, it's movie.
Yeah,
It's
it's moving.
sometimes
It's a
on the
moving
left,
one.
sometimes on the
It's
right. We
moving
don't know. It's a moving schedule. Now we will try to be here every month and talk about baseball with some different guests. So we are gonna talk with you this week, Wolfgang, about baseball.
Most of the time, we are going live without net. Okay. Finally for us, luckily for us, we are not in a circus, so we don't risk anything. Okay.
Okay, bunch of questions, Mike.
No, just one more, Guillaume. Who are gonna be having in this show? Because we have a coach today, but I think it's open to anybody. Umpires, players, Austrian,
Okay,
from
we're
the
not-
Liechtenstein. I don't know.
We're not gonna start with empires because we're going to have some problems. We'll start with some coach, with some players. We'll see. We're not. We have some ideas. I think maybe next month we should have someone, but we're not sure. We're just trying to have someone.
Yeah,
So-
we're trying to have someone.
Okay.
Not as big as you, Wolfgang, but
What do you mean big? Do you think he's
No.
big?
I'm not. No, I can't tell somebody is big. Okay, look at me.
Yeah, bigger than you, Mike.
First question. How do you pronounce your name? I mean, Wolfie. Oh,
That's
the
yeah.
Wolf of the East.
My birth name or my given name is Wolfgang, but
Wolfgang.
the nickname is Wolfie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call you Wolfie, okay?
Yes.
No, I'm going to call you Wolfgang. I'm
But-
not close
Okay.
enough to call you
My
Wolfie.
last name is from Bavaria. There is a big brewery in Munich, and it's one of the 5 or 6 that serving beer at the Oktoberfest. But in Austria, it's not a very popular name, and it's really hard to pronounce even for Austrians. So forget about my last name.
Sure.
Sure, but forget about it. You know.
Okay.
Like
No problem.
Wolfie is like a stage name, you know. It's like I don't know, like Lady Gaga or Shakira or Prince, you know.
Like Mike for me.
Yeah, like Mike. Everybody in France knows Mike.
Because my name is Edmond, really. But let's go. So Wolfie, who are you?
Who am I?
Mm.
Who am I? Well, I guess I'm a baseball fanatic, you know. Over almost 30 years, I did kind of everything in the Austrian baseball world. From when we started, I was the club president when the club had like 15 players, you know, at the very beginning.
When was he? When was that?
Well, it was in 1991. 19, so a little bit more
30
than
years.
30 years, yeah. And like when we started to grow, I took a break, and then in 2014 I came back and I decided to take care of the press. And I started to take over the social media. Like we already had a Facebook account, started a Twitter account, then an Instagram account. And then I became the sports director for the club. And last year, because of COVID, we couldn't really bring in a foreign coach. So we brought in actually my ex-wife, who played college softball for a good college in the States, but she had to leave the country for 6 weeks. So that's when I became like from the assistant coach to the head coach. Like I in all these years, I once did like the statistics for the league, for a second league, and I was like the league commissioner for the second league. Like I did a lot of things. I have like a scorer license, so I can officially score games. Yeah, like I think when you.
So
Go
you've
ahead, yeah.
always been an Indian?
Yes.
Where are
okay.
your feathers and
Okay.
everything?
I have to say no.
Why?
Like the area where we're living is not very large. You know, I would say about like the state has about 300,000 people, but like with like the people that like with the little villages in the mountain. I would say like 100, 150, like that live like in the valley next to Switzerland. And when I started, there were 5 teams. But when I say teams or clubs, it was like one team with like 15 players, maybe 20 players, really small, you know. And some existed maybe 2 years, and then they
Yeah.
folded or merged.
That's a lot, because when I started baseball, it was nearly at the same period. It was in 91 in France, 91 or 92. We were six people only in the team. I mean, it was a team near Paris. It was in Noisy-le-Grand. We were playing there with Mike. Mike, I met
Yeah.
him after.
Noisy-le-Grand is really seeing where it is.
Okay.
It's just in the Paris suburb, and and we were 6, 8 men sometimes at the training. There were only 2 or 3 of us. I mean, that's all, and there was no.
And I started baseball in the 2010, okay, and it was the same problematic, you know, only one team in the department, and this team was about 10 or 15 players, so it was already a good thing. But so now just explain to us, 30 years as an Indians, okay, you has been the president, the community manager, I don't know, you made the hot dogs, you made everything. You played a little bit or not?
Yes, I did play. Yes.
How many times? What was the level? What was your position?
Actually, back in the day, there were more clubs and teams than today, unfortunately, in
Really?
Austria. Yeah.
What? How do you explain it?
I think that back in the day, like for a group of friends to play was easier than today with all the kind of the regulations. You need an insurance. The baseball federation asks for certain things in order to play. I mean, when we started, we played on a soccer field, and today that's unthinkable. You know, it's like we even played the first 2 years in the first division on a soccer field with no mound and 60-meter right field. So like I remember, I hit right-handed, and I had some pop-up doubles while a teammate was a lefty hitter and he hit him 100 meters, and his was a double too because he hit it over the short fence, you know.
You're just describing what we played about baseball.
Yeah, but we were playing it was a suburb division. Division department division.
But us, we were 5 kilometers from Paris, so you know it's even stranger not to have this. But so you played. How much time did you play? What was the level?
Well, like I said, we started off in the 3rd division, like locally, and then the leagues were merged, and it became like the 2nd league. And the 2nd league had 3 divisions: West, Central, and East. And we played in the West for several years, and then we moved up to the 1st division after winning the league in '98. '99 was our first year in the 1st division, and it's kind of funny to think back. '99. Internet didn't really exist, so we had no clue about the level, and we were like, we need to add some players, you know, like from other teams, and we had no clue how good we are. We won the league because like we were good, we added the right pieces, you know, and we dominated the league. And it's kind of funny to think about because we had no clue what to expect. None.
What was your position?
Oh, I played catcher and outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And but you can tell the level, like in I forgot, I think in 2002 we changed from metal bats to wood bats, and that changed the level like tremendously, you know, like a lot of hits you could get with metal that like are just like slow rollers or pop-ups with wood. And I have to say, it's not, like, my biggest issue was we didn't really have experienced coaching. And when I got older to the end of my career, when we had better coaches in like on our team, I became a better player. But I was like in my mid 30s, and it was time to like retire.
But now you are now the coach, so you coach in the championships, in the European championships. Okay, it was your first, or did you already made ones?
You mean coaching or the European
the CEP Cup, the CEP Cup?
No, we won in 2019. We won the Federation Cup, and we moved up. But the CEP Cup couldn't be played in 2000 because of COVID.
Yeah.
So for us, it was definitely like the biggest stage because the
So
teams are much better at the Chap Cup than in Austria, like much better.
so last year you were coach. Are you still coach this year?
No, we're looking for somebody simply with more experience when it comes to like the technique of the game. Like that's something that we are definitely missing. Like that's kind of where I feel like Austria that can definitely catch up with better coaching. Like how to pitch, how to hit, all that kind of stuff. Like I feel like my biggest strength is like on a game day, like giving signs and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but it's like to tell a player how to change his swing. No, I
So
can't
so
do
you
that.
you're looking for a staff or for a coach, for a manager?
We're looking for a head coach, like for a manager. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
And
What's
you're
the
looking in
what's
Austria, or
sorry.
sorry, you're looking in Austria
No,
or
no, like we don't
okay.
like. There is a few people in Austria that like would like to go that direction, but financially it's really difficult. It's like somebody would have to move, which means like leave your family and job behind, and we're not able to pay someone full time, and so it's kind of difficult because in Austria we also don't have a sports visa. So at the end, we look for somebody from Europe or from outside Europe with a EU passport. It's not easy, and it's definitely something where like all the Austrian teams can improve a lot. If you compare it to other European countries, the baseball exists a little longer. Some of them have easier visa regulations, so it's easier to bring in foreigners and keep them year round. But yeah, the coaching is definitely something where we can catch up.
What
is
are you looking for a coach? I mean, what do you think the next step will be for your team to compete at the Chep Cup level, or a more higher level? I mean, is it the routine? Is it the training? Is it the technique, the strategy? Is it the way of life? I mean,
Well, to be honest, I think when a player reached a certain level, if he doesn't change his lifestyle completely, like let's say become a pro and say practice every day once or twice, I think like 10-15% is the most he can improve, even with like the best coaching. Where he can improve more probably is the mental part. Like be mentally ready for the game, have confidence, and believe in himself, believe in the team. And so we would need somebody who is a good communicator, a motivator, but also yeah, can fix swings or can work with the pitchers. Although you remember him, Chris Squires, um, who he played all over the
yeah.
field, including pitching at the Chep Cup. He is with us and he's coaching our youth. And he's a former minor league pitcher. And so we're pretty good with the pitching, but the hitting is definitely something where, as a club, we need to get better and start with the younger players because they have like more room to improve than the older ones.
you had some foreigners in the team from the Indians. Is it do you have the foreigner that come to your team? Are they professional or are they? Is it only amateurs?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good question. Sorry, can you explain to us, because I think that that's something that um, not a lot of people understand or know, is how do you handle the foreigners in your team? Because we have this in France, okay? Some are employees of the
team?
clubs. They work for them, with the academy, with everything. How do you work? How do you work it in Austria? I mean, do they have the job? Do they play for pleasure, or do they come for the baseball? How do you handle this?
well, basically they come for the experience. How can I like if somebody likes it, he will come back a second or third year. But the money they get is basically enough to cover the daily needs. Food, go to restaurant, go to a movie theater, but it's not enough to pay any bills back home. Like if I talk to like an American and he's like, I just bought a house. Do I make enough money to pay rent and live
Mm.
my loan and live in Austria? And I'm like, no. So it's like if we pay for the flights to Austria and back home. We have actually a really nice house rented where our foreign players can live. And it's a nice
Oh.
experience, but it's definitely not something where like the average foreign player would go home, find a job, quit the job, come back. It's more like somebody who loves baseball and doesn't feel the pressure to start the career. Like
No, I was just,
no, go
I
ahead.
didn't want to interrupt you, but I was just, I wanted to ask if it was just for you, the program for the Dornbirn Indians, or is it everywhere in Austria? It's exactly the same.
That's pretty much the same. Like that. The players are not professionals.
D'accord.
Um,
Do you have some teams? Because in France, you see, there are, I mean, even in first division, you see that there are some teams that can attract more foreigners than the others because they have an academy or they can just employ them, whereas some other teams cannot. As are all the teams in Austria equals on the same level, or are there some disparities between
no,
between them?
because how can I say that? You can only have 2 foreign players on the roster, or not
No,
on the roster,
no
on
matter
the
the
field.
position. No matter the
No,
position.
no. We play double headers,
Okay.
and so a non-Austrian pitcher can only pitch in the second game.
Okay.
And if you the battery pitcher catcher has always been mixed now, but now comes the big but. So like a
There are
I
German
like
player,
this one.
There are
Well,
always big buts.
It's
a
gonna
German
be a commissioner rule.
not really. Like if somebody lives in Austria for a certain time
Okay.
and he comes here for non-baseball reasons or even baseball reasons, but then he needs to be like he basically needs to have a job and pay taxes and stuff. And then after 2 years, he becomes like a baseball Austrian, as we call it. But
Okay.
he still cannot pitch in the second game, in the first game, because basically the Austrian Baseball Federation wants to push Austrian pitchers for the national team, because like imagine we bring in a good foreign pitcher who pitches the second game, and then we have Chris Squires who can go a couple of innings in the first game. That's a big advantage. And so, like Chris Squires, for example, who is with us for 5 years, he's decided to stay here and work at some kind of academy. He works like at a school, like or at a school. We have a school program,
Okay.
and so he's considered an Austrian with a little bit of limitations. But pretty much every first division game gets the 2 foreign players. Yeah.
And do you have a scouting process? I mean, do you have, in France we have schematics. I mean, some of teams have a lot of Latinos, others have a lot of Americans. The other ones are gonna have Asians, because they have these schematics, this road. I mean, they have a preferred road. Do you have a scouting strategy, or do you? I mean, do you take you are looking for a pitcher? You're gonna look what kind of pitcher is available on the market, and you're gonna try to make him sign.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if you have heard of the service baseball jobs overseas. Have you ever
Yes,
heard of
yes,
that?
yes.
Yes.
So
That's why I'm asking the question.
oh yeah. So that's a Canadian that lives in Austria, and he started that I
Okay.
think like 6 or 7 years ago. For me, it's more like a backup because a lot of teams obviously look at the website and make the players, the good players, offers, and so it's like I would almost call it like a slave market, like the guy with the biggest wallet gets the player.
Yeah.
Because the players don't invest the time to find out what's perfect for them, because I believe it's the experience. If you come for a year, if you look back in 10 years, it doesn't matter if you finished second or fourth. It's the total experience, and like you can play for the best team in France or Austria, Germany. If they don't treat you well, you don't have a good experience. You'd rather have a good experience and finish second than win the league and have a terrible experience. And I have for myself some kind of standard of players I want. So I don't like sacrifice. So there are times I invest a lot of money. Like I go through minor league rosters and look for players that got released or independent league or college. And it's like hours and hours. It's one thing that a lot of people don't know because it's quite a long time ago. So you guys know about baseball jobs overseas. I had basically the exact same thing for fast pitch softball until about 10 years ago. Because, like I said, there was an American playing here, and we started to fall in love, get to know each other, and it was a long distance relationship. And I visited her a lot of times in the States, and she played for UCLA at the time, one of the top two softball colleges. Like back then, they had all the half of the U.S. Olympic teams played for that university, and I started to find out how the college system works. Like, what's the difference between Division I and Division II? You know that there is a big difference between the good Division I and the shitty Division I teams, and like that. A guy with maybe a 6 ERA on a good Division I team will dominate in Austria. So it was like a learning process for baseball and softball. And at the time, I can't even really remember, but basically I helped the softball team here because the manager, who is actually now the general manager of the WBSC, Mike Schmidt, he is from our area. He wanted to win the European Cup. And so he stacked up the roster with top American players, and I helped him. But the knowledge is still there, and so I kind of have my personal tricks, where to look, and then also how to find them on social media, because sometimes it's a little bit hidden, but then you have your tricks on how to find those people, even if it's not their real name.
Wait.
Keep your secret.
Wait.
There are too many people who watch us. Keep your secret.
Yum. Tricks. Looking for young players in the college and everything. Are you a serial killer, Wolfie?
I've got a question for you, Wolfgang, to speak more globally of the Austrian baseball. Austrian, not Australian, because we know.
Can talk about it if you want.
No, but we know much more about Australian baseball than Austrian baseball. So, how was the evolution of baseball since 1991 in Austria? Has it gone really bigger? Does it stay about around the same, or
to be honest, when I look at the fielding, the defense got a lot better. Like if I look at some of the plays, just our team and not all of our guys are on the national team there is no.
Sorry. No. It's not about the level, because I imagine that in 91, I mean the level has increased. It's normal because there are more people that train and everything. But the enthusiasm of Austrian people for the baseball. I mean, you see in France in the 80s. There has been because there was the movie Major League with the Indians and everything. You see, there has been an increase, I think, for the baseball. Top 90s, there were more people that were playing, and then after it just stayed very calm. And now it's coming back because there are some young people that come, but it's still we are more than 60 million in France, and there are only 13,000 people that are.
How do you say?
13,000 people that play
13,000.
Yes, 13,000 that play baseball in France. How was the evolution of baseball in Austria at this level?
To be honest, I don't really know the numbers back in the day, but at the very beginning there was almost no youth. Everybody just wanted to play. Nobody cared about going to schools, because it's that's extra work. I'd rather practice or play or do something else. And the biggest development is definitely youth. Our club, for example, we have under 8, under 10, under 13, under 14, under 16 team. And to imagine even 10 years ago that we have under 8 players in the under 8 level, that's unthinkable. And so the evolution is definitely that the age is a lot wider, we also have now it's in our area it's I would say it's about 80-90 people. We even have slow pitch for the older guys. That's where I'm playing. So we really cover everything. one thing that is not as good anymore is the amount of baseball clubs and teams. You know, as we would say, there is too many white spots on the map where it's like, okay,
Mm.
like in Salzburg, everybody knows Salzburg. It's not a small city and it's international.
No,
There's
no.
there's no baseball team
Excuse
there.
me, Wolfie. Not everyone, not everybody knows Salzburg. You know, but not everybody. No, I got this straight with you. Not everybody. But just
Okay,
before,
you see,
ju-
he
just
say, he
before-
say to you that he's the nice guy, but he's not the nice
yeah,
guy.
No,
I'm
I'm the
not the
nice
nice
one.
guy. No,
He's
I
the
said I
asshole.
will be the host,
Ah,
and
okay,
you're gonna
sorry.
be the asshole. But
No,
I'm
I'm
still
not.
the asshole.
No,
But
I'm
do
the
you know?
nice.
Do you know that Chris Bryant, longtime Chicago Cub,
Yeah.
and now trying, he's sponsored by Red Bull,
Yes,
and Red Bull's headquarters are close to
Salzburg.
Salzburg, so
Yeah.
they flew him in, and he was
Yeah?
walking around Salzburg and asking people like if they know him or where he can play catch. And nobody had an idea, you know. So they were not even tourists, like not
Yeah.
even American tourists. They're like,
He-
hey,
he would have better chance to ask where he can hit sausage and potatoes, but asking to play catch in Austria, it's really risky.
I mean, it was Chris Bryant, but you have had Mike Trout, it was exactly
My-
the same.
yeah,
mine-
no,
Because
no,
even in the United States,
My name
nobody
is Chris
knows
Bryan.
Mike
Do you know who I
Trout.
am? You sing, right? You sing, right? No, seriously, Wolfgang. Just before heading to the second part of the show, where Thomas
The second part of the show.
of the show, where the Mouflet is gonna give us a little video, as I mean the I don't know, fuck.
The
So
transition.
yeah, the transition, the word, not you. We say it's gonna be messy. Just one question. You said something really important and really interesting. Just one, during half. of the show.
Yeah, when
pretty good.
when
It's
an
pretty good.
interesting thing. I'm sorry, you talked for 30 minutes. There was
Yeah.
one thing that was
Yeah, it's
interesting.
pretty good.
We have to
No,
tell you.
You said that the difference level between the Federation Cup and the Chep Cup, the Conference Cup, was huge. We can tell that the difference between the Chep Cup and the European Championship ahead, I don't even remember the name, is pretty high too. What was the biggest difference you noticed when you participate to the Chep Cup? Where did you say, wow, we are far away from that level?
If you were far
you
away
you
from
asked
that
me for
level.
only one.
No,
No.
but the most important from your eyes, yeah, I don't know. It might be the pitching, it might be the starters, it might be the hitters. I mean, you could have the best pitchers, and when you had to play against a Perdomo and all the other players, you say, "Whoa, this is risky."
To be very honest, I think a big difference was the amount and quality of pitchers. Like the other teams had more pitchers on a higher level, and
Exactly.
And
I was exactly getting
and
to
the
say
thing
that.
is, if you're hitters, and that's why I told the players, I said, where I was really proud was that most of the pitchers attacked the strike zone. So you couldn't wait for a walk. If you stand there and like, oh, that might be a walk. No, that's going to be a strikeout if you don't swing your bat. Is that teams like the Templier or the Raki Bruna or the Valencia, they see that kind of level of pitching in their league. So the hitters are used to it. And there is a lot of times in Austria where you face a pitcher with like mid 70s with not great control, and so it's a much different approach that you have at the plate. And the game we played against the Templier,
Yes.
Templier, towards the end when what's his name, Jose Paula, I think he was
Yes.
the closer, when he missed just a little bit and our hitters didn't swing and he walked them and the coach freaked out. I guarantee you, if that was the first game of the tournament, they would have swung. Like I was really proud how fast they adjusted, and they actually took that to the league. Like they stopped swinging because the weekend after we faced a German national team pitcher who, for whatever reason, played for another Austrian team, and he threw like 90, 91, 92. And yeah, it was challenging, but they did not swing after close balls, and that's a process that the hitters have to learn, and they only can do that in games.
You see, that's very interesting. So just to be precise, and I totally agree with you because what we saw during the Chep Cup is, besides taking apart the level of the pitches, I understand the speed, the number of ball, the effects, and everything. It's how much they were loaded, because we've seen all the smallest team of the competition. They had to put the same pitcher almost all over again, to close the games, to start, and we've seen them tired with the big arm like that, because they had to repeat it. And that kind of competition is really challenging for the managers and for the pitching staff, because you have to have good pitches, but not just 3, 4, 5. You have to be 7, 8, okay? Closers, setup guy, relievers. You have to be good starters. You have to load your team, your roster with that kind of, and that's what I wanted to hear about, tweet
But
about.
like if you look at it, um, uh, I think the format is really tough.
Yes.
If you go lower to the Federations Cup, for example, there is no team coming from a league that play 3 games. I think in Czech Republic they play 3 games, and then you look at a team like Draki Bruna, or I'm sure their second team is really good too. So they just pick they pick a roster that's different at the Chep Cup than at the league, because in the league they don't need as many pitchers. Well, you go up to the Champions Cup, and I feel like if you are not rich basically and buy a lot of pitchers with EU passports, there is no chance to beat the Italian or Dutch, because they play on a regular basis 3 games on a high level, so the starters cannot go 9 innings. And at the end of the day, they're pro teams, so it's just like an unfair competition. But still, I mean, for us, even if everybody was there, the goal was not to get relegated, so the next team can also get the experience. And that's kind of why I would say we picked the games we wanted to win. But I was surprised by Minsk. I thought like we can, but they're all athletes, and you can tell like the Eastern European
really good
style,
team.
like they all had good arms. They could hit. They could run. The pitchers threw 150 pitches.
No, that was
they were machines,
That was completely crazy.
And
That was crazy.
and then like
And without the manager choices,
oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Miss could have been really, really higher
Yes, I
in the
agree.
standings.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, the one team that surprised me a little was the Spanish team. They had a small roster for like the level, but obviously the Temple and the Archie Bruno, like you could tell they wanted to go up. The Swiss team was kind of on our level, and did I forget anyone? No,
No,
I think that was about
I
it.
think
That was
it's
about it.
five teams.
I have no clue how the Ukrainian team that didn't show up. With the Belgians, I think they really like to transfer teams. I looked before, and I think the team that didn't come lost a lot of players, so I think they wouldn't be that strong. But with Belgian teams, you never know. If they stack up on players.
So just for you to know, this year the Chep Cup will be again in France.
Rouen.
Yeah, and Montigny, two cities, and there will be 2 French teams. Okay, so 2 more lucks to odds to win. I hope. So it's gonna be the transition. I think the Mouflet is ready for a quick video that we had in the Chep Cup. I think it's gonna be a kind video where we are taking selfies and pictures with your play. Okay,
Go ahead.
see you soon.
See you soon.
the name of the Indians, okay? And then we're gonna talk a little bit about the Guardians, and then it's gonna be the end. And the end is it's fun, and fun. Okay?
You bring the baguette, the cheese, the red wine.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay,
That's
so
it.
much. You
That's
come
it.
to the
That's in my
Okay.
kitchen.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, we're back. I hope you enjoyed the video because we're
Yeah.
not gonna hide
were-
you any new.
We were much younger. We were we have
Right. And
less hair on less beard and everything.
we can
we
hide it for the
changed.
for the million fans that we have in all over the world. But we didn't saw the video. We didn't see the video because we are on the Skype, and we can see the live on YouTube. So, okay, Wolfgang, we talked a lot about you, about baseball in Austria. You got to know that for us, they have only one team in Austria because that's the only one we know. That's the Dortmund Indians.
No,
And,
I checked that I've seen that you finished third this year
Yeah.
on the division.
And Guillaume, where is
Yes.
Dornbirn in Austria? Because
Dunburn is near
I
the
don't know.
Constance Lake, and it's very close to the Swiss frontier.
Do you have a
Hey,
picture,
I
Thomas,
checked,
to
I
show us
checked.
where is Dornbirn? It's
No,
live, I think.
No,
He said yes, so I think it's good. So now that
Okay.
you've seen where.
We are showing a map.
Oh,
Right.
very good.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
The,
very
you.
the
much.
most important thing is the baseball field. You know, that's the most important thing in Dortmund.
Okay, so you should work for the travel agencies in Dornbirn and make it.
But you know what's funny? So we played probably on one of the worst fields in all of Europe for 28 years. It was like sand, not even real sand, like gravel, like with little rocks. It was really bad. So then, in 2017, the city of Dornbirn decided, okay, it's time for a real field, and they decided that we can spend 1 million euros.
Oh.
So the city of Dornbirn was like, okay, we give you the money. Well, not really give us the money. Like they built the field, but we had to build the dugouts, the clubhouse. We had to work ourselves. And I think now they are so proud that we are actually in folders and like online presence from the city of Dornbirn. You can see the baseball. And it's like, okay.
Just a quick question: does the city hall of Dornbirn could consider to promote a little French podcast with we don't ask a million. Huh?
Well, you have to wait 30 years. You have to wait.
Okay.
30.
Okay, we'll be in touch. But okay, we're talking about the Dortmund Indians. First of all, why this name?
Well, I think we have to go back. We have to go way back. The way our team or the club started was we have a sports high school in Dornbirn, and towards the end of the school year, the teacher was basically saying, "You decide what kind of sports we play or we try out." And somebody was like, "Oh, I was in the States last summer and I have a baseball bat. Let's try to play baseball." And so those 10, 15 guys from the school class tried to play baseball, and a Japanese guitar teacher, because it was a mix of like music high school and a sports high school, he walked by and he was very surprised because he played baseball in his youth. And so he loved the idea that there is guys playing baseball, and he offered them to train them. And they were like, well, school year is over. We have nothing to do anyway. So let's play baseball. So they met 2 or 3 times every week, and he started to teach them how to play baseball. And and a couple of months later, the movie Major League or Cleveland Indians was in the movie theaters, and I have to say it was one of the few baseball movies that actually made it. I don't even think Moneyball made it to the movie theaters here, or maybe Moneyball, maybe Moneyball because of Brad Pitt, but
yes,
but many others no. And so they watched it, and some of the guys believe they saw themselves in the on screen, like the third baseman was like, "Oh, I'm Roger Dorn," and the other guy like, "I'm Pedro Serrano," and I'm like, "No, you're not. Like, first of all, you don't hit the ball as far, and you're not dark." So it's like, But they were like kind of giving themselves the names, and so it was like, and then we had one guy who is actually now a graphic designer who late at night decided to alternate the Cleveland Indians logo and made it into our logo, and it was like,
Ah.
and now we are the Indians. So that's kind of how it all started.
And this is
Just a
funny.
quick question, Guillaume. Just a quick question. Who was Willie Mays?
Who we didn't have him.
If you had told me it was you, I wouldn't have believed you. And I have a small story also because I love the movie, the
Yeah,
Major League,
yeah.
the Indians. It
Really
was one of my
loves it.
favorite. It's one of
Everybody
my
knows.
favorite movie, and
Loves it.
my and I was always telling Mike when we were playing in our team. Our team was called the Webs, not the Indians, and always I say we are so crap. We don't train. We don't do anything good. We should be called the Indians. And when I saw you guys when you came to the Chep Cup, I was so I wanted to be in this team, and you were just my favorite. Yes, I can say it now. You were
Yeah.
my favorite because you were
And
the Indians.
he saw you at the first game, and he said the only thing I could do is to carry the bags. So to understand, because you know the Cleveland Indians are no more the Cleveland Indians. They are the Cleveland Guardians. They started a few weeks ago, I think, to start to sell the merchandising and everything. Did you consider to change the name as the Dornbirn Guardians or
The Guardians.
the Dornbirn Indians?
I mean, did we consider? Yes and no. I say yes because obviously in the last 3 years, really some random people, like we have no clue who they are, send us emails, and a couple of
Oh,
people
yeah.
from the club were like, "Are we changing the name too?" So obviously, when you're asked, you think about it, you know. But was it ever seriously considered? No, it wasn't.
I can understand why the Cleveland Indians had to change the name and had to change the
It's a
merchandising because,
cultural thing.
yeah, because of the cultural thing. I mean, not the problem with the Indians, but all the history they've got. But with the European coming to the United States and just
Kind of the genocide.
chasing the Indians and all the genocide. So I understand that it's for the Indians nation, for the Indian nations, it's difficult to have their culture caught like this and just sold as a merchandise. But I think, I mean, I don't know why you or we as Europeans should change the name, because I understand that it can be maybe because the logo can be a little bit
Yeah, that may be.
sketchy. You see what I mean? I mean, I
I,
understand that you can keep the name, but it's the face of the
I
Chihuahua.
don't totally agree with you, because I know it's a cultural thing. I know, but when you check a little bit, when you look at the history and what it means, you can understand that's not because we didn't have any Indians on our continent, that we don't have any Indians in our country or in our city or in everything, and that we are not responsible for this. That we cannot manage to say, okay, it's a cool name because the Indians is a cool name because of
Yes.
the baseball history and everything. But to say we could change the logo, we couldn't change our name. I'm not saying you should do, okay?
Yeah.
What I say is I understand the other side, you know, I understand the people who say, okay, just regarding and for the respect of the Indian nations, maybe you think they don't care, but maybe then in the United States, all the Indian nations think that every team that use the term and the logo of the Indians could be from their eyes offensive. You know what I mean?
I know, but you know what I there's something big that I don't understand, and I tried to do a little research, but I really mean a little is this. So the Cleveland Indians were really forced to change the name.
Yes, yes,
The Washington Redskins were forced to change the name.
of course.
I know that like
The Braves,
Indians,
The Braves also had to change the.
But they still did it in the World Series,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I have never heard the Kansas City Chiefs or the Chicago Blackhawks,
Hmm?
and also not the Florida State Seminoles. So I was once told, when you use a real name of a tribe, they have no problem, but it's this like general name, you know, like the Indians. And with Redskins, I heard that's like a bad word, a slur, you know, like the N word for colored people. So, but then like I'm not an Indian, obviously, you know, like I'm a white boy from Austria, so I cannot relate to say, okay, why do you accept the Florida State Seminoles or the Kansas City Chiefs? Why the Cleveland Indians? And what's also interesting, I prepared a little bit for the show today. Um,
Okay, that makes
Well-
one person that prepared something.
Yes.
no, but like
because
what?
because the both of us,
No,
you are the
because-
only one to prepare anything.
No, but
I'm in underwear. Just,
you have to.
just
No, but so there is the state of Indiana,
Mhm.
and Indiana means home of the Indians, and then you have the city Indianapolis, and that's with the Indian. And I actually found an article that said that a politician um, like applied for a law change because it would only take 500 people for like a signature list to have a vote. So imagine a big city like Indianapolis or Indiana, you give them a new name. I mean, imagine the costs. Every household, every company has to like new business cards, new envelopes, website has to be changed. Like that's a lot of work. So it's a lot more than if the Cleveland Indians had to change it. But then on the other hand, they lost their identity. And I guarantee you, it doesn't even have to be opening day. If we go in August and go to Cleveland, there's going to be thousands of Indians t-shirts, you know. And I think and it will take a long time for it to be changed. And I mean, for the Indians, as of like for the people, it's obviously worth it, you know. But for kind of going back to us, um, it took a long time for our club to be recognized, you know. And it happens every now and then, like people ask you, what are you doing like in your free time? I'll play baseball. Oh, for the Indians. And you're like, wow, you heard of us? Cool. So if we suddenly changed our name to something else, we would need quite some money, like for public relation reasons, to like inform everybody and give the people new T-shirts, because it's like everybody would need to buy new T-shirts and hats, merchandise, you know, not just a uniform.
and that's it. You know, there was an article several weeks ago about this on the Athletic. Was really interesting because everybody has to understand that changing the name from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians was really a good thing for this franchise, more than a bad thing. Why? Because first of all, they were buying the piece. It's really important. They were buying the people love, saying we are the first. Okay, before any other team, before
Oh, yeah, I get
any
you,
other
yeah.
symbol, we were the first. Okay, we took the step. We are here to defend this. Okay, and third, they will make a 2022 merchandise revenue this year that will be counted in hundreds of million
Oh, yeah.
dollars. You have to understand why? Because they want to sell, they want to have records for selling the Indians merchandising because they are still selling it. Okay, it's gonna be collection.
And
Okay,
it's going to be on sale, so more
it's
people buy it.
it's gonna be
cheaper.
collection. Okay, just
Yeah.
understand that the jersey of name Indians were worth $400 will be $2,000 in several days, several weeks. Okay, and all the people that will say we're gonna buy the Guardians because I'm a Cleveland fan. Okay,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna touch because. You gotta understand, I'm the capitalist, so I'm the one who counts the money, so I'm the one who understands this. And they're gonna touch all the consumers who doesn't give a shit about baseball, but will buy Guardians merchandising just to say, I bought the merchandise of the team that added a big step for the Indian community. You know what?
Yeah.
That's why. So all the people who saying that the Cleveland Indians making that move, becoming the Cleveland Guardians was not easy. No, man, it was the easiest way. Now, the ones who are going to suffer from it, it's all the others. It's the Chiefs. It's the Braves. We're going to have to cut their baseball tradition, good or not, okay, good or not, their baseball tradition to erase all of that, all of the Indian significance they can have.
The Braves, it's not the same problem with the Braves. The Braves, they never, and nobody asked the Braves to change their name.
I think it's the
No,
tomahawk.
the
and
tomahawk.
No, it's
It's
the,
the-
yeah,
the-
it's the
tomahawk.
chopping
and on the
it's
logo.
And the
yeah,
chopping.
it's
And
the
it's
chopping and the
chopping.
Lego. Yeah,
The Chiefs.
but that's
I mean,
just
you
it.
talk about it. We are in the conference finals of the NFL, and we have the Chiefs. That's the same trouble. What I mean is, I understand your position because, I mean, from an European side, when you call the Indians, and even today, you can ask to 99% of the European people, it's not going to be offensive. It's not going to be offensive
No.
because we don't understand this part of the history because that's not ours. But
Exactly.
what I say is, I understand the people who say you could do it, but your argument is pretty good. The size and the power. I mean, influence on at an influential level, communicational level, and financial level. It's gonna be much worse and much more difficult for you to do that than for any major league team.
But
Yeah,
from the
of
point,
course.
from your point of view, you're gonna have some problems to buy your merchandise for your team for the
Oh no,
the hats
we
and
all
everything.
make it ourselves. We all make it
Okay.
ourselves. We had the last uniform that we had with like very similar font on the chest. Um, I think we got new ones like 3-4 years ago. But yeah, for a long time it was always very similar. We didn't change it as often as the Cleveland Indians because obviously they have the money to change stuff a little more often than us. You know? But one thing that not really that it speaks for us, because if it would be really bad, like there is really no excuses. If you look at team names, it is an interesting situation. You can look at the states, and the professional organizations they move, So you have the Los Angeles Lakers, and there are no lakes in Los Angeles because they're from Minnesota.
Yes.
You have the Utah Jazz who come from New Orleans, and when New Orleans wanted the name, they were like, "No, we're not going to give you the name because everybody combines Utah Jazz like with Utah. If we give a new name, but then, I mean, like I said, I prepared a little. The Rouen Huskies. Why Huskies? Montpellier Barracudas. I didn't know where the Barracuda actually lives, but it's not in the Mediterranean; it's in the Atlantic, And you look at so many more teams, but then you go back and it's just like a group of friends, probably young. They didn't think about political history or like is that fish in front of Montpellier or is it like in the Atlantic? It sounded cool. Maybe the animal was fun, like maybe you had like us with a movie. There's so many reasons why you picked it. And nobody wanted to do anyone any harm. It was like, it worked back then.
And that's why I have an idea for you. If you want to change your name from the Indians, you have got to move to the Dornbirn Wild Things. You see, with the baseball.
I'm
and,
hearing
with
this idea.
with the
for-
mohawk
I'm
and
hearing
everything.
this idea since 20 years. Okay,
But you know what?
wants to call all the teams. He crosses. He knows the wild thing. Okay, so I'm gonna stay with your conclusion. That was for me the great one. Nowadays.
Which one? Mine?
No.
That's what I thought.
idea.
That's exactly
It's
what
the
I thought.
second thing interesting you said in the show. No, what I mean is, I think you're right. I think we are in some difficult times where we cannot say all the thing you want. It's really tricky. You have to be really careful when you say something, when you express an opinion. So I like your conclusion. It's right. First of all, it was just some friends, and they said, "Oh, it's cool. We can call us that." Okay. So that's the idea. And sorry for everybody who's gonna look at the show for the way we express our opinions, because we used to express our opinion in French. it's messy, but in English, it's even messier. So, so sorry for that.
But
And
you know what? You know, one day there will be a big sponsor coming, you know, with ugly colors. And he's like, I want green pants and I want
I'm just
a
chasing
yellow
one. Look,
shirt
look,
and the
look.
big name, no more Indians on front, but my company, or maybe it's metallic and blue and we are the Red Bulls, you know. And
Yeah,
everybody comes as a professional, you know.
Yeah.
No more work, only baseball, you know.
it's gonna be great when it's gonna be a laboratory, you know, some Viagra and anything. I want to see the logo.
The
Okay.
Dunburn Viagras.
But you know, but hey, you mentioned that, you know, and I'm sure you never heard the story, but I remember it, and it was came to my like I saw a video again. There was a first division soccer team like 30 years ago in Germany, and their sponsor was London. You know what London is, and the league was not sure if they should allow it or not. So after the first half, they had to go in the locker, like they changed jerseys in the locker room with no sponsor, and then the following week they were allowed to have it.
So
You
what
know
is London?
Condoms.
Okay.
So 30 years ago, it was offensive to have a condom producer as a sponsor.
I think it's the most effective transition you could make to the end of the show. My dear Mouflette, are you still here, my dear Mouflette?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Okay.
is there. So can we launch not the last one, but the Bruce Bochy show?
The Bruce Bochy show now.
The almost head coach
Bruce
of the French.
Bochy. Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy.
Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy.
Here's the show.
Bruce Bochy show, yo! The
Bruce
Bruce Bochy
Bochy
show.
show.
What is
Yeah.
the Bruce Bochy show?
Wait, first we need to say hello to Bruce Bochy. Hello, Bruce Bochy. We're
Hi,
here.
Bruce.
We
How
wait
are
for you. Don't worry.
Wolfie, say hello
Okay.
to Bruce.
Hello, Bruce.
Okay, so Bruce Bochy, okay, Hall of Famer coach, one of the best coach in the history of the MLB and the game. I could say that 3 World Series and everything. He is still the manager in place of the French national team. Okay, so the goal we set for us with Guillaume at the start of the podcast, you know, of the à coup sûr,
Nearly 2 years ago.
yeah, nearly 2 years ago.
Just
It
we
is
decided to launch the podcast. It was
Yeah.
during the COVID. So since the start of the COVID, we didn't see Bruce Bochy in France. He
Yeah.
never came.
yeah. Since we did that, he never came in France.
So-
The few times he must have come to France has been cancelled.
We
So-
don't know if he doesn't come to France because of the COVID or because we're waiting for him. We don't-
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know. We made a petition. We made videos. We made some games to win something. We run some cards, some collectibles. We start to collect some baseball goods from all over France and Europe to make a small museum. You know, to show him. We made what we could. Seriously, we cannot make more things. I don't know, Guillaume, but we cannot make more
So
things.
he is not coming to the podcast.
So far,
Not yet.
not.
Not yet.
So
But he
now
will.
No.
we are
He
going
will.
on YouTube because we want him to
Well,
see us.
maybe you invite him and Mike Piazza from Team Italy, you know?
Yeah, why not?
Maybe. We never know.
Why not?
We
We
never
are
know.
on Mike Piazza, we are on the Mike Trout, and we are discussing with a Ken Griffey Jr., but it's a little expensive for us.
Yeah.
That's why we with you today.
We think
Uh,
it would be easier if we want to speak to Rob Manfred, but I don't.
Yeah, and if we spoke with Rob Manfred, it must have a lot more. I mean, how do I say that? F word, you know. So the thing is, we cannot have Bruce Bochy by ourselves, okay?
Yes.
So we're gonna ask the guests we have, what can you do for us to help us have Bruce Bochy in the show.
Me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can. You know what? We are not looking for the results because we don't have any. We're looking for the intention. It could be I don't know a
Could be
small
because-
video with
Well,
the
wait,
team.
wait.
Maybe you know someone that know him, and you can give us.
Yes,
give us
I
his
have
phone
with
number.
actually for real. Wait, 1, 2, 3 or 4 connections. I could actually reach him.
Oh,
You're kidding,
you
right?
see, it was very
No, for
interesting to
real.
ask you.
So what? Okay. Next month, we're gonna talk seriously now. Now that's the most interesting thing you say all show. Okay.
Well,
just forget the others. They don't
isn't
count.
it like isn't there like a saying that like you can with like 5, like 5 connections,
Yes.
you know everyone in the world or something like that.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna say we're gonna act like that, Wolfie, Wolfgang. I don't know how to call you, W. So W, we're gonna ask you to do whatever you can. Okay, we are not looking for results. Okay, we know we'll never have Bruce Bochy in the show, but we are still chasing.
Imagine we do this next month, and I'm like, hey, hold on, and we switch, and Bruce Bochy is right there.
That's why
You
we're
will
gonna
be
keep.
speechless, you would
Yeah,
be like,
yeah.
Yes.
That's
imagine Mike being speechless. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
No,
Mike's
that's not gonna
speechless.
happen.
He just loves to speak. You can see
too
it.
much. I speak too much.
Yes,
But
yes.
we're gonna make that. We're gonna have a little, a point with you in a month, a little evaluation to see where you are in your And if you're not gonna have a raise, okay? That's how you do. And we're gonna inform the millions of people watching us next month on where you are to your
To
project.
get us.
But
to get us-
so here's the question. I said 4 people. Do you know the French, like the president of the French Baseball Federation?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's one, and he knows Bruce Bochy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We
Yes.
will.
But he does-
That's
he
something you
doesn't
can
want-
cross. We
he
will
doesn't
not
want to
have
speak
Bruce
to
Bochy
us
by him,
anymore.
and he's not the president anymore.
Also,
He's
No,
he's on the Olympic Games in Paris board.
so
Now we talk. By the way, what happened? That baseball is not part of the Olympics in France. You have breakdance instead of baseball.
yes,
Man.
because we think that we are more able to have some medals with breakdance than baseball.
That's exactly it, and I think they're right.
Imagine the wonderful stadium that the Olympic Committee would have built.
Yeah, and after it was never used again because we don't have a good team to put in it.
Why? I'm sure Paris or the Templiers, they could fill it. A couple of thousands.
Okay.
No.
So
No,
now,
really
now
not.
you're just moving the knife inside the wound. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore.
So then basically it would like the one in Athens, where
Okay.
they,
Yes.
they played and it got
Just
this
because you're
demolished.
really starting to be mean, we're gonna go and the transition with the last part. Oh, it's gonna be a long video. Just one thing, the Mouflet. Are you ready to the last jingle? Transition.
This is a little canary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what
that's
is the little Connery? It's bullshit time.
It's
So,
bullshit
for
time,
bullshit
exactly.
time.
That's always good.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
The fuck is with this guy? Who is he?
So just
We are
to
back.
tell you the story in the backstage, we were asking to Thomas to make us a little, comment on dit count? No, I don't know. A
Yes.
3, 2, 1,
A countdown.
a
A
countdown.
countdown.
The final countdown.
Exactly. Okay, That's enough. You speak too much. I'm fed up.
Uh, to the Mouflet to
What?
make us the countdown.
It's
Wait,
difficult. It's
wait.
difficult to imitate.
Because you can only one. Two,
One.
and three.
Exactly.
So it's bullshit time. What is bullshit time? We gonna just have fun. Okay, it's nothing serious. Most of the time, it's not related to baseball. We don't care. That's the time when we're gonna be French and arrogant. You know, a little bit of racism and arrogance, because that's what who we are. We are French. Okay. So first question, it's gonna be for me. The game is: do you prefer? You know, it's the game. What do you
Oh,
prefer? I give you
okay.
two options. You have to choose. And
Okay.
no, it depends. No, you have to choose. Don't be the Switzerland, okay? You're an Austrian. You gotta choose, okay?
Okay.
Take a side. First of all, do you prefer being a European champion with the Dortmund Indians, or do you prefer growing hair again?
European champion with the Indians.
Okay, so you gave up about growing hair.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's my turn now. It's more serious.
Oh.
Do you prefer to watch the national Austrian team qualify for the World Baseball Classic or coach Don Byrne to win the Austrian Bundesliga?
The Austrian, win the Austrian Bundesliga with the Indians.
Yeah? Okay. Your turn, Mike.
Do you prefer to keep coaching, or do you prefer to have the power to go play again?
That's a good one.
I know.
To be honest, the way baseball is played these days, obviously, I'm like it's not realistic, but I wouldn't mind playing again. Yeah.
Okay, that you know that science fiction. This one, like the air, this
Yes.
is never gonna happen. Okay.
Totally
So you
sci-fi.
don't have
But-
you don't have a time machine in your garage.
No,
Yeah,
and we
but-
don't have the power to,
Yeah.
to make you back 10 years ago.
But we
It's
know
not
Marty McFly. That doesn't count.
Yeah, for a collection of 4 people to Marty McFly. Okay.
I sing
Uh,
so well.
Wolfgang, you're not far from Liechtenstein. If they ask you to become coach of the national baseball team, you go or you stay in Dornbirn?
I would go and I make you my starting pitcher and Mike my starting shortstop.
Okay, so you want to lose.
Well, I
Okay.
don't think there is any. There's on there. I know there is no team, and I don't think there's a player.
No, but you gotta understand. You gotta understand. They are not. They have not more than nine people living in Liechtenstein.
Oh, that's true. But
That-
you know, they have a lot.
that's
They
only
have,
bank
hey,
account.
hey, they have a lot of money, so they
Yeah,
could
that's only bank
sponsor.
account.
They could make a pro team. They could sponsor your podcast.
I give you just an inch, but if there is only one team in Liechtenstein, it's definitely the national team. So you just have to be there. You just have to be there, organize a baseball team, and you make the national team. and
Very
you can
true.
You can try qualify for the World Baseball Classic. That's all I have to say.
Last question, and it's an egocentric one. Okay, just about us, because we love us, and that's a great thing. Do you prefer to lose the national championship with us broadcasting you, or do you prefer to win it without us broadcasting you?
Of course, you know. If
Don't
you're
lie,
not-
don't lie,
if-
don't lie.
If
Don't
you
lie.
guys are not there, it's just not a complete.
Oh,
day, you know.
what a liar! What a liar!
That's
You,
Mike.
you have the last one.
But
No,
you know
you-
what? So you made an interesting suggestion. You know, you don't have to be here to commentate.
No.
All you have to do is watch
No,
the live
All
stream.
we have to do is to be paid. No, sorry.
Hey, well,
Okay.
we paying beer. Do you drink beer or do you drink only wine?
Yes, no, no.
Beer. I drink water.
I'm okay. You can pay us. I will drink the beers for 2. No problem.
So you will comment alone.
Hey, imagine this: we have an English, a German, and a French commentating.
Yeah, it could be great.
Okay, Mike nearly stole my question because I swear it's true. My last question was, would you prefer to have us comment in French your team in the finals next year, or have an Austrian broadcaster that doesn't know anything about baseball?
I think you
Uh,
guys. Honestly, I guess you guys might be more fun.
Okay, but it's
But
it's
only
ta- no, it's you asked this question, but this means we know something about baseball, and that's not true.
But we speak in French and we
But
make
we speak in
and
French.
we
Not
have fun
well,
and
but
we make
speak in
as we
French.
know. As
But
if we
hey, when was the last time you watched a Major League Baseball game?
know.
Probably in October, November, the World
October,
Series.
November,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, these guys talk 20% baseball and the rest is stories. And
Mhm.
and I mean, who cares what the stories are?
That's what we do all year. So
Yeah.
it's a great conclusion. Wolfgang, thank you. Just before we heading to the end, the really end of the show, can you show us the fabulous memorabilia you have behind your head? Because nobody saw us.
Well, you cannot really see it anymore because it's fading.
Mhm.
Do you see it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Who
We-
is it? Who is it?
Hank Aaron.
Oh,
But to tell you the story. So back in the day when the local
here we go for
fast
2
pitch-
hours of a show.
No. When the local fast pitch team, when the manager wanted to win the European Cup, which he did actually, an American girl came from for the second year, and she had such a good time the first year, and I found her, recruited her, that the first day she was here and she saw me. She's handing me a little plastic bag, and she was like, "Here's some gifts." And I opened it, and there were two other things I forgot, but like one was the ball, and not even covered with anything.
Oh.
And she was like, "Do you know what it is?" You know? And I said, like, "Yeah, it's Hank Aaron. Like, this is real?" And she said, like, "Yeah, like it's from our family. We have a couple of collectives." And I'm like, "You're seriously giving me this?" And she was like, "Yeah, no problem. Like, here you are." And
Wow.
I didn't really understand at first. He signed it at some random place. So it doesn't have like a sticker on it, you know, that it's like official license. But unfortunately, the pen is fading. Like you don't see it as strong anymore. But I had a couple of Americans in my apartment that saw it. And they're like, "How the hell did you get a ball signed by Hank Aaron?" And I have
That's
I have
incredible.
like 2 or 3 other signatures from Major League players, but none of them means anything compared to this. So that's kind of cool.
And you know what?
I have one
We-
of Babe Ruth, but I won't show you because it's
Yeah.
in my lock. I
we
lock
have
it.
For
I
real?
have better.
No,
I have,
no.
so I have.
Not at all.
Just I have better. You know what?
Okay.
I have a calendar with the autographs and the signatures of all the Dornbirn Indians fans. And this is really, really great. I can't show you because I'm moving from my house, so it's all in
In a
some
box
boxes.
somewhere.
Somewhere. I don't know, anywhere. But I have this. So thank you again, Wolfgang, for this tryout. This was our spring training.
Did I make the cut? Did I make the team?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, of course.
But we don't know if we made it, so maybe it was still
Well,
last
you
time.
made it, but you made it. You just have to understand in à coup sûr in baseball, humor, and mustache, because that's our slogan, you know.
So
that's-
if you ever bored being in France, you can come to Dornbirn and then make sure you throw out the first pitch before the game. And we get Simon Pluck. I will
no.
organize Simon Pluck as your personal buddy.
yeah, okay. If Simon comes, we will come. We'll come.
No,
Definitely
but,
will come.
but please don't make us throw the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you never
We're
seen
gonna
us
injure
throw.
somebody.
Yeah.
Us,
Okay.
most of all.
It's,
But,
it's best
no, no.
if we stay just at the bar with some beer.
Okay.
like we say in Yakuso, you're now a member of the family, so the door is open anytime you want. You can come. You want to speak. You want to shout. You want to sing. You want to dance. Anything you can do. You
Yes,
can.
I want to see it.
And I want to
Me?
see it.
No.
You can come. Thank you a lot for being here.
Thank
for
you too.
our
It was fun.
show. Thank you, Guillaume, again.
Thank you,
But-
thank you,
Thank you,
Mike.
Guillaume.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Wolfgang.
Mike.
It was very
And-
good.
And thank you, the Mouflette. Now, time is for you. Don't forget. We are on the social media. We don't post almost anything, but we're on it. So you can come and follow us. You can follow the page. We're gonna try 1 episode for months. Okay. See you soon. And don't forget, Guillaume,
Yes,
baseball, humor.
and mustache. Just like we say in France, baseball, humour et moustache. That's it. Okay,
Okay. Au bientôt.
no problem. See ya.
See ya.